Here is a detailed 1600-word article, without headings, based on the available information about the video you shared. The video appears to be a Russian language YouTube video titled «Молодую Украинку удочерил Богатый Шейх», Чтобы, translated roughly as, a rich sheikh adopted a young Ukrainian woman so that. I couldn't access the video directly due to throttling, but I found search references that confirm its title and general nature, and I'll base the article on what the title suggests, general context about similar content on YouTube, and common themes often associated with such story videos. The video opens with an intriguing premise, a story that immediately captures the viewer's curiosity, a young Ukrainian woman being adopted by a wealthy sheikh. The title alone is designed to provoke questions in the audience's mind about identity, culture, wealth, and personal transformation. Stories about cross-cultural relationships and dramatic changes in someone's life have become popular on YouTube, especially in Russian language content, because they blend personal narrative with exotic elements such as wealth, tradition, and unexpected life twists. In this case, the idea of a rich sheikh evokes images of luxury, tradition, and a world very different from that of the average Ukrainian woman, especially in the context of recent history and social upheavals in Ukraine. From the beginning, viewers are drawn into an emotional landscape. They want to know, why did a wealthy sheikh adopt her? What circumstances brought them together? What does this mean for her future? These questions are effective because they speak to universal human experiences, the desire for security, belonging, and better opportunities, while also tapping into the curiosity about lives very different from our own. The opening moments, even without directly viewing the visuals, set the tone for a narrative that blends personal story with broader cultural themes. As the story unfolds, the video likely presents the young Ukrainian woman's background, where she come from, what struggles she faced, and how her life might have been shaped by the social and economic conditions in her home country. Ukraine has faced years of geopolitical tension, economic challenges, and societal transformation, which many storytellers use as a backdrop to illustrate why someone might be driven to seek opportunities far from home. In personal story videos, creators often intertwine emotional detail with broader context to help the viewer empathize with the subject. In this context, the figure of the sheikh is symbolic on several levels. Wealthy sheikh is often associated with the oil-rich Gulf states, places like the United Arab Emirates, Qatar, or Saudi Arabia, where enormous private wealth coexists with strict cultural and traditional values. Casting him as a benefactor who adopts a young woman from a very different background creates a contrast that the audience finds fascinating. This contrast becomes a vehicle for exploring themes such as power dynamics, cultural exchange, and transformation. In many of these narratives, the sheikh is portrayed not merely as a wealthy benefactor but as a figure of wisdom, stability, and authority, someone who offers not just financial support but a new environment in which the protagonist can grow, learn, and reinvent herself. This creates an emotional arc that many viewers find compelling, the journey from struggle to stability, from isolation to connection, and from uncertainty to a new identity. The viewer's emotional investment grows as the story moves from description to transformation. The video's narrative structure likely uses a personal storytelling style that includes interviews, voice-overs, and possibly reenactments or visual storytelling elements that bring the story to life. Content creators often employ dramatic music and carefully chosen backgrounds to heighten the emotional impact. For instance, shots of the Ukrainian woman's past life, juxtaposed with scenes of luxury and comfort in her new environment, help to create a sense of contrast that underscores the transformation. Directors use this visual and auditory contrast to pull the viewer deeper into the narrative. But beyond the surface drama, the story raises deeper questions about identity and belonging. What does it mean for a young woman from a country with deep historical roots in Eastern Europe to be taken into a culture that may seem alien and distant? How does SH navigate language differences, new customs, and societal expectations? This question is resonated with many people who have experienced or witnessed migration, cultural adaptation, or life changes that require learning new social norms. The narrative arc will personal, taps into collective experiences of transition and adaptation. Moreover, the cultural lens through which the video frames this adoption may reflect broader social attitudes and assumptions. In many post-Soviet and Eastern European audiences, the Middle East is often seen through a mix of fascination and stereotype, wild, strict traditions, hospitality, and mystery. These preconceived notions make a narrative about a sheikh adopting a foreign woman rich with symbolic potential. The story becomes not only about the individuals involved, but also about two very different cultural worlds meeting and reshaping each other. The emotional core of the video, especially if it follows typical storytelling techniques, would focus on the young woman's voice and personal reflections. Audiences tend to connect most deeply when they hear directly from the people at the center of the story, their fears, hopes, and the moments that change their direction in life. Whether through direct interviews, narration, or carefully edited testimonials, giving viewers access to her inner world makes the story authentic and engaging. This technique fosters empathy and keeps viewers invested in her journey from the beginning to the end of the video. At a deeper level, the video likely explores the motivations of the rich sheikh as well. Why did he choose to adopt her? Was it an act of altruism, a personal connection, or something strategic? Videos like this often build curiosity by withholding certain details initially and revealing them as emotional or narrative turning points. These moments are crucial because they offer revelations that rearm the story, keeping the audience engaged and eager to see how events unfold. The intertwining loves of the sheikh and the Ukrainian woman also serve as a metaphor for larger themes, for instance, how people from different socioeconomic and cultural backgrounds can form meaningful connections despite massive differences in wealth, lifestyle, or tradition. Viewers can see in this narrative a reflection of real-world dynamics, the ways in which globalization brings people together, the tensions and opportunities that arise from cross-cultural relationships, and the possibility of mutual transformation when individuals engage with worlds very different from their own. Another important aspect of such narratives is how they engage with the notion of sacrifice and commitment. For the Ukrainian woman, leaving her homeland, even in a hopeful or positive context, represents a form of sacrifice, separation from familiar surroundings, family, and cultural norms. The story likely explores her internal tension between embracing a new life and holding on to her roots, a struggle that resonates with anyone who has made a difficult choice to pursue a better or different life path. In contrast, the sheikh's motivations might involve not just benevolence, but also cultural curiosity, respect for her individuality, or a desire to bridge different worlds. His decision to adopt her could be portrayed as an act not just of charity, but of personal transformation as well, a reflection of his own values, experiences, or longings. This adds depth to the story by suggesting that both people in this relationship are changed by it, turning a one-side narrative of rescue into a two-way exchange of growth and understanding. The video's conclusion likely emphasizes resolution and hope. Viewers who stick with such stories usually expect a sense of closure, not just a recounting of events, but a reflection on what those events mean for the future. By the end, the audience might feel that the young Ukrainian woman has not only found safety and comfort, but has also discovered aspects of herself as she didn't know before. At the same time, the sheikh might have gained new perspectives on life, culture, or personal connection. This emotional and psychological development leaves the viewer with a sense of compulsion and meaning. This narrative structure, from conflict and curiosity to transformation and conclusion, is common in popular YouTube storytelling. It appeals to both emotional engagement and intellectual curiosity. Audiences watch not just to find out what happened, but to understand why it happened and what it signifies. Stories like this tap into fundamental human interests, identity, connection, change, and the ways in which our lives can be reshaped by unexpected encounters. Reflecting more broadly, videos that tell real-life or semi-documentary stories have become an important genre on YouTube because they offer viewers both entertainment and insight. They blur the lines between personal narrative, cultural commentary, and social documentary. For many viewers, such content feels more meaningful than purely fictional stories because it speaks to real people and real choices. The emotional resonance of these stories often leads to conversations in the comments section, debates, personal reflections, and shared experiences that build a community around the video's themes. In the case of this video, the narrator's choice to frame the story around a cross-cultural adoption creates a powerful lens through which viewers can explore not only individual life changes, but also broader cultural dynamics. The juxtaposition of Ukrainian experience with Middle Eastern world and tradition raises questions about privilege, identity, and what it means to belong to different worlds. It encourages viewers to think about how circumstances, changes, and human generosity intersect in ways that can transform lives in unpredictable ways. In the end, even without full access to the video content, the title and context drive us enough to understand why the story would capture attention. A narrative about unexpected opportunity, cultural convergence, and human connection speaks to universal themes that audiences around the world can relate to. Through emotional storytelling, visual contrast, and cultural intrigue, this video likely engages its viewers deeply, prompting reflection on life's possibilities and the surprising ways in which people's paths can intersect. If you'd like, I can also provide a shorter summary version, a title and description for your own YouTube upload, or help you tailor this article for SEO and engagement on YouTube, e.g., keywords, tags, timestamp structure. Just let them know.